Hey guys, it's Kurt. We're back again with another video. This time it's going to be something a little bit different where I actually lose, and I'll be illustrating the mistakes I made throughout the game, as well as the things I did right and what you should be doing. I look at the map right here, coming into my plane. I notice that we're going straight over the center of the map, but I want to try something a little bit different this time. I'm going to go into the firing range. While it's not too high profile, it's something where you can get a decent amount of loot, not something insane. You won't get all fully geared out unless you're extremely lucky, but you may pick up 1 or 2 kills, and there are 2 bunkers on the outside directly to the left and to the right that you can pick up decent loot from, and also there's usually a car spawn, so even if you spawn far away from the circle, you can grab that car and move and loot wherever you need to. There will be normally a bunch of people landing at Severny, and if you're really unlucky there could be a couple people landing with you. You always want to land at these square gray rectangles pretty much that always have loot underneath them. Most of the time a lot of 5.56, and sometimes if you're lucky you'll get a gun. And if you don't get a gun, there's always barrels in the back that you can loot. I will be speeding through these looting parts to keep them so you can see how I position myself and what I loot at the time. I didn't see anybody else directly land with me, so I'm pretty much free to loot this place. Find myself a helmet and a shotgun, and as well as a choke. Choke makes the shotgun effective actually pretty far, maybe 30-40 meters. And it'll be illustrated. There's actually one other guy that landed with me, and we don't see him yet, but it's right after the initial looting phase. I loot all the barrels in the back, still not great with gear, but as I come up the steps here I see a guy third-personing over, take 1 shot, all the pellets hit him and he just folded immediately. The shotgun is an extremely good weapon close range if you have the opportunity to pick it up. If you have no weapon, don't skip over it. It's a great gun. If the person doesn't have armor, you're guaranteed to one-shot them at pretty much any range if you're, well, not any range, but 50 meters if you have a choke or you don't have a choke, and if they don't have armor. I thought I heard a shot here, so I ran over and looked. Turns out there was nothing there. Ran back, checked the shack, got a backpack from it, and here's one of the bunkers that I wanted to loot. Doesn't go to the left or to the right, but in there's actually some decent loot. Run back up and decide that here's a car and I'm going to drive to the next bunker. These bunkers will probably be your main source of loot from the firing range. And although I don't get an assault rifle, I still have a shotgun to work with, and I also have a car to work with, which is more than a lot of players can say. Decide that I don't want to loot that town just in case anybody else landed there, because I don't have the best engagement gear. Don't find anything really of use in here. Hop back into my car, and I start the drive to the top of the hill. I'm already in the circle at this point, so I'm not really that worried. I see some guy come over the ridge, and I know I have no other choice but to run him over. If I got out, I would have been at a loss with range. Even though I had a shotgun with a choke, he had an AR and the high ground. There was no reason for me to take that engagement without using my car. So I get a level 2 vest, I get his AR, and now I'm in a much better position to engage enemies. After looting everything I need, I end up hopping back in my car and driving for a little bit longer. I always like to keep a certain amount of attachments on me until I have the gun that I want. I keep the 4X just in case I find a Car 98K, and I keep the vertical grip just in case I end up finding a M416. I have a pistol on me because I don't really have that much AR ammo, and if I do need to take an engagement from any type of range, it's more reliable to have a pistol because personally I can headshot better than I can. Aim or center body mass with a shotgun, I have more ammo. Headshots do more damage. That's just my logic. I loot this house, don't really find anything of value. The entire time I'm watching the circle, but I know that I'm already in the circle, so it's not really that big of a risk for me. I'm just looting the buildings on the outside of the circle, not taking any engagements until I have the gear that I'd like. While I'm level 2 on everything except for my backpack, and I do have an M4 or an M16, I still don't really want to take engagements until I have pretty much everything that I want. Upon looting these houses, I come over and I hear a buggy in the background. So I turn around, try to third person over the ridge, see if I can see anybody. And when I do see the buggy, I wait because I know that he doesn't see me, or else he would just speed away or speed in the other direction. People usually change direction when they see you. They do something alternate. This guy hops out of his car instead of just driving along, and I get the kill. If someone sees you, they'll usually take a different course than what you think. So if you're spotted, you're moving along, and you look to your left and you see a guy and you don't think he sees you, if he takes sudden erratic movement or doesn't keep moving straight or does something that seems even the little most suspicious, then he's probably seen you and moving to a better position. So you, at your point, need to recognize that he has seen you and move to a better position yourself. Now at this point in the game, I already have a silencer. That guy that I killed had a silencer on him, and a silencer is one of the most key components to winning a game. It's not as useful in the last circles, but from the middle circles onward, it's great for any range engagements that you could take. I pick up an M416. It's my favorite assault rifle, even if it's not tricked out. I just know the drop, the gauge, everything on it, how much I have to lead, so it's a personal choice. All of the assault rifles in this game are all pretty good. It depends mostly on your positioning, how you're going to do against an enemy versus your aim. Like I said in my previous videos, if you're up behind someone, there's not much they can do when you put 6 bullets into their back if they're just standing still. Positioning over aim every single time. Outposition someone, you'll win. Moses just put out a great video on positioning and winning. If you haven't taken a look at that, I would definitely take a look at that, especially if you're new to the game. It's a great video. I actually learned a couple things from it about positioning and how to use the zone, so I would definitely take a look at that. I'm still looting at this point, so I move forward. And I'm looting all these houses. I don't really need any loot, but I mean there's no reason for me not to loot at this point. There's nobody that I've seen, and I do end up seeing someone eventually. So I saw someone at this house, so I move up to the house, and I get caught in the field, so I know I have to headshot this guy. Or caught in the middle of the road, caught in the open. There was no reason for me to run away. If I ran away, it just would have given him a better opportunity to shoot me. He only had his head exposed, and I had a great scope, and my aim is not all that bad, so I decided to take the engagement, and I won. I have to be careful for everybody around me. I'm going to go up and take this guy's stuff because I still need meds. At this point I know that I have too much ammo from my previous videos, but it's still just a habit of mine, and it's just an accident where I have too much ammo. You don't want to have as much ammo as I do. You don't really need 300 plus shots. There's no reason to have like what I have. I'm just dragging stuff into my inventory. Don't do that. That's a mistake. You always want to have that room for meds or frag grenades. Any utility that you can have is better than ammo. See this guy running across the field? This is why I prefer the M416, because I know the lead and the drop. Kill him, and there's another guy immediately directly to my right. Single fire, tap him down, and I notice this guy on my right as well. I'm going to switch to auto because I'm going in close range, so I can just hold down the trigger. I see him running inside the building, and I decide I'm going to chase him. My footsteps are probably masked by his, so he doesn't really hear me, and he won't expect me coming this fast. So I came around the door, sprinting, and holding down my trigger. And it caught him off guard, and I was able to kill him. If I had given him a couple more seconds, he might have been able to get his positioning, and it might have killed me if I had taken my time, because he would have had the door position. See another guy entering this house. I'm going to give him maybe like 10 seconds to see if he's going to move from inside the house or not, so I'm going to chill here and wait to see if he comes out. I don't know if this house has been looted or not, and if it is, then he'll come out right away. If not, I'm going to push into him. So I decided that I'm going to take the left road, go through the fence. And I check the windows as I go by to see if I can see him. And it turns out I do see him through one of the windows instead of going through the door first. And I kill him through the window without issue. If he was upstairs, I probably would not have pushed upstairs. I would have just left him and let him come out. Because if I didn't leave him, then I would have died very quick. It's a very disadvantageous position for me to push up the stairs while he's third personing the corner, because third person is such a strong tool. He'd just pop around the corner with any weapon, catch me off guard, and I would have been dead. Peeker's advantage is a very real thing in almost every single game. The peeker has more reaction time. Like, he knows that he's going to shoot you, but you don't know that he's going to peek. So he initially will get the first couple bullets off every time, unless you were expecting him to peek and you're pre-firing him. If any of you have ever played Counter-Strike Global Offensive, when you're sitting in a corner and you peek someone, it's very hard for that person to react in time. So I see this guy running across the field. Dispatch him without much problem. He had no idea where I was shooting from because of my silencer. Still looking around at this point. I know I'm in the field and I know I have to get to cover as soon as I can. So I'm running closer to these, so if I get shot at, I can move around and use my positioning to my advantage and take cover. So I'm looking at this building, third personing around, and I'm going to look into the field further. I hear a shot to my right, so I'm going to peek over the ledge, see if I see anybody. Turns out I see someone at a hay bale, and it actually turns out to be a dead body, but it kept giving the blood splats. I kept shooting to make sure. The guy moves along anyways. He lays down a little bit. I see him with my third person, just a little hint of black, and I know that it's not, there's normally no black in that hillside, so I see him moving and I keep putting shots into the grass, eventually killing him. From here I see the circle moving in, but I'm still at the very edge, so I know that it's unlikely that there might be someone behind me, considering how I cleared all the zone behind me and to my right anyways. So I'm moving up through the hay bales, using the hay bales as cover, watching the top of the apartments, as I know that's a very volatile area. Everybody loves to take the apartments because the high ground, they can look down on everyone, so I'm expecting someone to be at the top of the apartments, or in any building which they can get up in. At close quarters, it's a lot harder to expect anything. You always get someone that's camping around a corner, and that's very hard to deal with. Any zone that ends in the field for me is a much higher percentage win, because I can out-aim someone a lot better than I can take someone pushing up stairs. Like if I'm pushing up a stairwell and there's a guy third person around the corner, it's a lot harder for me to win that trade than it is for someone hiding behind a tree and I can just out-peek them. You have to play to your certain skill set advantage. If you know that you're better at positioning, then you might want to camp it out, you might want to stay behind a tree, you might want to take battles that you can't, or you might not want to take battles that you can't take. So I see this guy, now I have the positioning advantage, like I said, up top because you look down on everybody. This guy doesn't know where he's getting shot from. Folds almost immediately.
That's your boy, little ugly man. What's up?
Met up. If you jump on that little ridge in front of me, you don't take damage from the fall. Just a little tip for anybody out there. You won't take damage from jumping off of those apartment buildings. I move through the city, checking left and right all the time, checking how much meds I have, ammo, how many people are left alive. And now we move into the field and where the mistakes start happening. So I start off pretty good. I'm third personing over this ledge. I hold the ledge to my right, or to my left, so I know that if I start getting shot from the left side, which is the most likely region for people to come from, which is on the outside of the circle, they're going to come through the field. I hold the ledge on my left side, which is still good. I have the positioning advantage. And I hold right here real quick. Moving on, and I see someone at the white telephone pole. He starts shooting at me. I actually didn't see him. And I put the tree between me and him so he can't see me until I'm at the closest range that I can get to. Put a couple shots into him. Notice that he doesn't move backward, so I end up pre-firing this corner. And then he dies. I decide that I'm going to loot him. Loot isn't all that important in the end game, but I want the meds, and I guess I got greedy for maybe a sniper or anything that I could use. So I'm sitting on this corner here, in actually a pretty bad spot. I shouldn't have positioned myself here. Even if I have a silencer, I shouldn't be in the middle of the zone like I am right now. There could be people up the hill, to the left, to the right. I assume there's going to be people coming from the town. So I look around real quick. Not really sure what I thought I was doing. I was running around in circles. It's very bad. I should just hold a position. I should have probably gotten down back by that ledge or gotten to a bush. In my current position, I'm exposed from two sides. And that's really bad for my back. Actually, three sides, from my back, left, and right. I know my left is clear because that's where I came from, so I position myself readily there, so that's pretty good. But in my current situation, I'm in a very bad spot. Hear gunshots from the hill, so I end up looking that way. And I know that he's shooting either down in the town or up the hill. I assume that he's shooting down in the town, so I'm going to wait for someone to come out, making sure again that I'm at full boost. Like I died very quickly, which means that he was either tagged by the zone or tagged by someone else. Still looking behind me, I think at this point I'm starting to realize that I'm not in a good position and that I have to move out, but I don't know where to move to at this point. When you're in these type of situations, you have to make sure that you're calm, that you know what you're doing. If you're not calm, then you'll make stupid decisions. I don't think I was calm at this point. I was just kind of mentally like, I don't really know where to go. So I stay here and I keep looking the direction that I originally heard the shots. Killed that guy. And now I'm at the point where I definitely should have moved. I should have positioned myself towards the outer edge of the circle to any other cover besides the one that I'm on. Because if I haven't already been shot at, or like, definitely people know where I am. There's only two alive at this point, other than me. And it turns out there's a guy up the hill and a guy down the hill from me. I get pinched from both directions and there's nothing I can do because of my terrible positioning. I end up seeing the guy on the top of the hill and taking shots at him first, but it doesn't matter because I end up getting pinched anyways. leaving myself in a 2v1 situation which you never want to be in at low health. At this point I'm moving around the pillar to try and find where the last guys are, but it doesn't matter because they already see me. If they had any type of brain, they wouldn't move. They would just sit there and wait for me to do something dumb. So I see the guy at the top of the hill. He hits me. I try to fall back behind this thing, and then I get flanked from behind pretty much immediately. And then the guy from the top of the hill kills me,
What a way to lose that.
and it was just terrible. It was really bad positioning getting pinched at the end. You never want to be in the middle of the circle unless you have very good cover at the end of the game. Thanks again, guys, for watching. This video, it was actually something new. I tried fast forwarding. In my next video I'm going to be adding pauses to see and show where you should be looking, what you should be doing. I really appreciate everybody that's watched these videos, and I hope you like this one as well, and I hope it helps you out. I'm going to be making a video probably once every 2 or 3 days, and that's so I can get better content out and edit the video a little bit more. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a good day.